Have you been thinking about upgrading your computer? Are you on a first gen Ryzen 7 1700X or a Ryzen 7 1800X, and you've been eyeing some of the new sweet 12 core or 16 core 3900Xs or 3950Xs from AMD? Well, if so, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to look at the difference between the Ryzen 7 1800X and the Ryzen 9 3950X. Now, about a month ago, I just went ahead and updated to this CPU. I've been using it for about the past month for all of my content creation here on YouTube and for my Twitch streams. And man, I have to tell you, it is such a difference. I am streaming at 1080p, 60 FPS on like the slow preset on a single PC now. I didn't even think it would be possible, but hey, I'm there and I'm loving it, and I think my streams look a lot better for it. Although it's not like they looked bad before, even though they were in 720p. I just upped it to 1080p. I did have to go to an 8000 bit rate from 6500 though, so maybe that's like a drawback for some people. Either way, if you could do 6000 or 6500, you could still do 720p slow and just have an amazing stream. So what we're going to have here in a minute is I'm going to go ahead and show off some slides, and I'm going to show you the difference between things like 3D rendering, how long it took to encode a video, some benchmarks from in-game like FPS. We'll have like some Cinebench, we'll have Time Spy, and we'll have like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and The Division 2 and a few other games. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to have two clips of two different games. One that was being encoded with my Ryzen 7 1800X and another one that was encoded with the 3950X. Both of them should be Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And that way you can see the difference between the 1800X and the 3950X. And I'll even give you their presets, like what I had everything set to, so that you can see the differences, see what I've changed, and see if it's something that you think that you would like. So if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. And thanks for watching. Here's the slides. Now in this first slide we have here, we did a Blender render, the spring and autumn render. You can get it free off the Blender website. And we have the 1800X at 17 minutes and 58 seconds with the Ryzen 9 3950X at 8.5 minutes. It was a difference of about 71%. That was how much more powerful the 3950X was over the 1800X. Things are a little bit different when you look over at the right and look at the temperatures, because as you can see, the 1800X only got up to 66 degrees Celsius on average, with the 3950X getting up to 76.7 degrees Celsius on average. And just so you know, yes, I know that's too hot, and my new water cooler just came in today. I didn't have time to install it before making this video. If you get a better water cooler than what I currently have for the 3950X, you'll probably see much better temperature results. Moving on, we have the Blender Procedural video. The 1800X finished it in 26 minutes and 18 seconds, with the 3950X finishing it in 13 minutes and 47 seconds, a difference of 64%. Again, we have the temperatures on the right with the 1800X at 61 degrees Celsius average, with the 3950X at 73 degrees Celsius average. I really need to put that new water cooler in. Jumping over to a different workload, we have handbrake encoding. For this, I use the slow preset with a constant 20,000 bit rate and a constant 60 frames per second. As you can see, the 1800X did it in 4 hours and 45 minutes, with the 3950X doing it in 49% less time at 2 hours and 23 minutes. Almost a jump of 50%. And as you can see down below, the max temps that we saw during this was the 1800X at 68 degrees Celsius average, with the 3950X at 81 degrees Celsius average. Next up, we have Cinebench R20, where the Ryzen 7 1800X scored 399 points on single core and 3,873 points on multi-core, while the Ryzen 9 3950X scored 522 points on single core and 9,094 points on multi-core. Man, AMD has really improved these CPUs in the last 3 years. Oddly enough, the Ryzen 7 1800X scored a higher temperature here than the Ryzen 9 3950X, with 65.7 degrees Celsius maximum average over the 1800X over 3 tests, with the 3950X just scoring 63.3 degrees Celsius. I can't even explain that. For our next test, we have Cinebench R15, where the 1800X scored 162 points on single core and 1,737 points on multi-core, with the 3950X scoring 209 points on single core with 4,010 points on multi-core. This time things look a little better on the temperature side, with the 1800X scoring 62.3 degrees Celsius average maximum temperature, with the 3950X scoring 62.7 degrees Celsius maximum average temperature. For this next test, I used the 7-zip built-in benchmark for the x64 decompression. Ryzen 7 1800X hit 41,720 MIPS, with the 3950X hitting 109,201 MIPS. That's an incredible 161% increase from the 3950X. Moving on, we have gaming benchmarks with time spice scores. The 3950X only comes in at 4.8% faster than the 1800X. Now, from what I've seen on some other YouTube sites like Gamers Nexus, Jay's 2 Cents, or Linus Tech Tips, is that this is actually normal behavior, and it's because there's so many cores on this CPU. So I haven't had a chance to test gaming mode yet with this CPU. Maybe that's something I'll do for another video. If you want to see that, comment down below and let me know. Next up, we have the DirectX 11 Firestrike Ultra scores of the 3950X and the 1800X, with the 1800X scoring 7576 total, with the 3950X scoring 7499 total. A 1% decrease in performance from the 3950X. Just to do something different, I went ahead and did a Port Royal scores test, which is testing the RTX ability. It's really more to do with the graphics card than it is the CPU. And really, the scores here reflect that, because the 1800X scored 8274, with the 3950X scoring 8243. It was actually a decrease by 0.3%. And even though I did all of these tests 3 times just to get the average, it just shows that having more cores isn't always better for every scenario. But then again, at 0.3%, that's really within the margin of error. So they pretty much scored the same thing. Next up, I tested Shadow of the Tomb Raider's built-in benchmark with RTX off, everything turned to Ultra, TAA set to 1, and motion blur turned off. And as you can see here, the 1800X scored an average of 83, with the 3950X scoring an average of 84. Barely beating it, but really even between 3 tests each, showing the 1 FPS difference pretty much. It's within the margin of error. It's pretty much the same thing. Moving on to the next test, I tested Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the only change being RTX on. Also, I forgot to mention, for the gaming benchmarks, everything was done at 1080p. And as you can see, there's no change. So they both scored 89.67 average out of 3 runs. So DLS did its job. DLSS, I mean. They both had a slight increase. For the second to final gaming score, I tested the Division 2's built-in benchmark, where we see the 1800X coming out on top with 144 FPS average, and the 3950X scoring 138.67 FPS average. It was a decrease of about 3.7%. Nothing really to cry over, but it just goes to show that more cores aren't always better for everything. And for our final gaming benchmark, I did Counter-Strike, where you can see that the 1800X scored 168 FPS average, with the 3950X scoring 361 FPS average. This is a title where the extra cores really helped, because it was an increase of 113%. So here's a clip from one of my streams with the 1800X before I did my upgrade. The video here is at 720p. I'm running it at 60 FPS with the very fast preset and 6500 bitrate. So look at that quality versus the next clip and tell me what you think. And for our last streaming benchmark, we have a 1080p 60 FPS slow preset 8000 bitrate Twitch stream that I did maybe a couple of weeks ago after getting the CPU. And as you can tell, other than the fact that it's 1080p, quality wise, there's almost no difference. So, but the main difference is I get to use more of my CPU and run it 1080p. So was it really worth the upgrade? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. So there you have it. There's my analysis of the 3950X and things like encoding and rendering workloads, gaming workloads, and even streaming workloads to Twitch, which, by the way, make sure you check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/zombieface with 2 A's. Link in the description below. Anyway, so if you like this video, go ahead and like and comment down below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. If you want to see something like my special sauce settings for my single PC setup, go ahead and comment that down below and I might make a video on it. Anyway, this has been Ask a Nerd TV. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Oh, and make sure that you're staying safe out there during this COVID-19 stuff. Like, just take care of yourself. All right, take it easy.